Hi, this video is for students, particularly that use Bring Your Own devices, on how to connect to the National Trail printers. I'm showing it on a Windows 8 machine because it's harder to do on a Windows 8 machine, but the process is the same if you got a Windows 7 machine as well. So the first thing you want to do is get to the control panel. So there's several ways to get to the control panel on a machine. On Windows 7 it's fairly easy. On Windows 8, you can just go to the screen that lets you see all apps. And I just missed it. I apologize. I'm on a virtual machine, so it's a little harder for me to do it since I'm on one that I don't have a touch screen on. So you're going to go to Show All Apps. Which There we go, finally. There we go. So I'm going to show all apps on a Windows 8 machine, and then I'm going to scroll over and get to the control panel and choose control panel. On Windows 7, you can just go to the start bar and select control panel, and you're going to end up here. Now, if you're in this view, I find it easier to switch from the category view to the small icons view, so that you can just go down and say you want to choose devices and printers. So I'm going to go right here to devices and printers and choose that. And then I'm going to add a printer. So I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to add a printer. And it's going to go and search and find printers. This doesn't work because you're not on the network. You don't see the names. It's nearly impossible for you to know which printer is the one you want to add. So it's easier if you just go ahead and skip this and click the printer I want was not listed. Now you're going to want to add a printer by name, and the easiest way to do that is just to type in the name of the printer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the name of the printers here of what we're actually looking at, and I'm going to bring that on the screen here. What we're going to type in here is this whole line, and the top one shows how to connect to Lab 210, the middle one is for the Computer Lab 209, and the last one is for Ms. Tensman's room, room 216. No matter which one you're going to do, you just copy that into that line where it says select a shared printer. So I would just copy this and put it inside here, right there, and I don't think it's going to let me paste for another line, so I just type // trail3, which is our print server, / and in this case I'm going to add Miss Tensman, so I'm going to write HSRM for high school room 216, and then I'm going to click next, and it's going to try to connect to high school room 216 on trail 3, and it's going to pop up and it's going to ask me for the credentials to connect to that room. Now if we were on the network, you wouldn't have to do that because you already have authenticated the fact that you're part of the network. If you're not part of the network, when it pops this up, we need to basically just put in our credentials. So we're going to wait just a second for that to pop up. Okay, so when it pops up for our credentials, we can't just put in our username and password. We have to put NTLS / our username, and then put in our full password, and make sure you check remember my password, and then you're going to click OK, and it's going to go ahead and finish connecting up and downloading the drivers. Now if you notice, it says Trail 0 instead of Trail 3 because I forgot I was on a 64-bit machine. The names are the same, but Trail 0 is what we connect to for 64-bit computers, and Trail 3 is what we connect for 32-bit computers. If you don't know what kind of computer you have, if you hold the Windows key down and hit pause break, when this pops up, it says right here that the system type is a 64-bit operating system. So for 64-bit operating systems, you should be on Trail 0. For 32-bit operating systems, you should be on Trail 3. So the printer name just popped up, and I can say next, and then I can choose to print a test page. I don't want to do that and waste the paper. I'm just going to click Finished, and now I've added that printer. I want to get the printer names for you real fast for Trail 0 in case you have a 64-bit machine. So just to make sure you understood, if you have a 32-bit machine, to connect to Lab 210, you'd put in Trail 3 / Trail 3 HS Lab 210. For 209, it's / Trail 3 HS Comp Lab, and for 216, it's / Trail 3 HS RM 216. And if you're on a 64-bit machine, it's Trail 0, and it's HS210 64-bit, HS209 64-bit, and HSRM 216 still for the machines if you're on a 64-bit machine. Again, to find that out, which one you're actually on, all you do is hold down that Windows key and hit the pause break key on your keyboard, and this pops up, and you'll know right away whether you're on a 64-bit operating system or a 32-bit operating system, and you need to make sure you're picking the right printers for which kind of machine you have. Most of you are probably 32-bit, but it's possible with some of the newer machines with a lot more memory, you could be on a 64-bit machine. So again, all we do is go through Control Panel to do this, go to Devices and Printers, add a printer. Don't let it try to find it. Just click the printer I want wasn't listed, and then put in the appropriate name that I just went over. So in this case, since I know it's a 64-bit machine now, it's just Trail 0 /. And now that I've connected and put a name in, look what just happened. Because it knows me now, it's listing all the printers. So now I'm going to be able to just go down. Once I've added one printer, I can go down and add the other ones as well. There's 209 right there. I can click on that one, and now it's going to go ahead and connect to 209 and add 209 for me as well. And it did that because I just put in my username and password, so now the network knows that I belong to the network, and it can go ahead and add those printers a little more easily for me than it was to add the very first one. So that's how you add a printer. I went a little long on a non-National Trail machine, making sure you put in the NTLS / your username, and you see that didn't ask me for that this time because I had already done it and told it to save my username and password.